welcome to my YouTube channel. If you've not subscribed to my channel, I highly recommend that you subscribe. But if you've already subscribed to my channel, I just want to say thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for sharing my videos. Thank you for liking my videos and even putting a comment on my videos. I will encourage you to like this video if you're learning something from it, because when you like a video, it gets recommended to other users on YouTube. So today I'll be talking about a very important topic. I know I always talk about important topics, but today I'll be talking about careers, and the career I'll be addressing today is a registered nurse. Today we'll be talking about how a foreign educated nurse or a foreign trained registered nurse can successfully immigrate and work in the United States of America. I know a lot of people have been asking me, I'm a registered nurse in Africa, I'm a registered nurse in the Philippines, how can I come to America? What is the process? And today this video is going to be an overview of the whole thing. In the coming videos I'll be giving you more information, step-by-step guide. Today is just giving you a general idea, and also if you need to sign up, like if you're interested to come to work in the United States, you don't know where to start, but you're interested and you want to sign up, I'm going to put a link below where you can sign up. So I'll be explaining that in this video. And I understand like foreign educated nurses, they face a lot of challenges in some countries, especially in Africa. Some of them, either they're not getting paid well, some have gone like months without getting paid, some of them the working conditions are not very good, some of them they really don't like whatever they're doing over there, like in regards to the management and how nurses are treated and stuff like that. And if that's what's happening, you have a choice, or you have an option to actually immigrate and work in a better working condition. And there's nothing wrong with that, because guess what? When you immigrate and work as a registered nurse in the United States, the pay is going to be better, the benefits are going to be better, regardless. Like even if you get a hospital that pays the least amount, it's going to be better than what you're actually earning in Africa right now. I can guarantee you that. So today I'll be addressing, or I'll be showing you, explaining how you can immigrate to the United States and work as a registered nurse. I'll be addressing other careers, like if you're a physical therapist, you're occupational therapy, and you want to come here, I'll be dealing with that later. But today I'm just going to be talking about a registered nurse who's already registered in their respective countries and they want to come to work in a hospital in the United States. If you've been watching the news or been keeping up with what's going on, you realize America right now, they're short on nurses. So hospitals are working short-staffed and all that. So they really need nurses. So if you're over there and you want to come here, guess what? It's possible. And I said, if you're watching my channel, I'm giving you all these options. I'm showing you how to come on a green card, coming on a visitor's visa, coming as a registered nurse. So really, if you've subscribed and you want to come to America, there's all these options. So you have all these options to choose from. So if you're a registered nurse, stick around and we'll be going over what is needed, or what is the basic requirement you need to actually immigrate and work in the United States. So let's start with the basic requirements. You have to be a registered nurse, and what does that mean, or what does that entail? So I'm going to be going over that. So in America, to work as a registered nurse, you have to be have graduated with an associate degree in nursing, or a degree in nursing or over. So that then you can work as a registered nurse. So to come to work here, to qualify to come to work here, you have to have that kind of equivalent in education. So I'm going to speak, I'm from Kenya myself, so I'm going to be speaking, I'll just be using that as an example. So if you're in Kenya, either you graduated with your diploma usually is 3 years, so it's an equivalent to an associate degree here, which is like a 2-year degree, associate degree. So you have to have graduated with a diploma in nursing, or you have to have graduated with a degree in nursing, a master's in nursing, to have graduated from a school that offers at least a diploma in nursing. Number 2, you have to have graduated from a school that is accredited. So if you went to just a nursing school, somebody just builds up something and opens a nursing school and you went there, is not recognized by your country, then that's not going to work. So you need to have graduated from a school, a college, or a university that is actually accredited in your country. So when you have to send your diplomas here to get validated, that school is known. It's not like a school that people will be like, okay, where is this school even located? So your school has to be accredited. Number 3, you have to have graduated in a nursing school, and then you are licensed in your respective country. You have to have a registered license in your country. You graduated from the school, and then you are licensed. You either went sat for a test, and then you passed the test, and then now you're given a license by your nursing council or whatever in your respective country, so you're licensed there. 4th requirement, you need to be working. Like if you're coming to work here, especially like if you're coming to work in the hospital, you don't want to be applying and then you've been out of the bedside for 10 years. It's gonna be a challenge when you get here. So you have to be actually actively working in a hospital, an equivalent of a tertiary hospital. So you have to be working in a hospital. And then the 5th and last requirement, the hospital has to have a certain number of beds. So I'll say 80 or 100 and over. So it has to be a hospital that is big. So if you're working in a little dispensary, you're just seeing 5 patients, sometimes you'll have a challenge of actually coming here. You have to be working in a hospital, and then that hospital has to have at least 100 beds. Because that shows even if you get a job and then you get a 10 patient assignment, 7 patient assignment, you can handle that comfortably. But then if you've only been taking care of 1 patient or whatever, or you're seeing somebody in an outpatient setting, and then you're coming here to work in the hospital, you will have a challenge. So those are the requirements, basic requirements. 1, your school has to have been accredited in your country. You graduated from a school that is accredited. Number 2, you have had to have graduated with a diploma, which is an equivalent of a 3-year degree over there, and then here is a 2-year associate degree. So diploma, degree, master's and over, you have to have a minimum of at least a diploma in nursing. Number 3, you have to have a license, a registered nurse license in your country. Number 4, you have to be actively working in a hospital, or a hospital that's actually admitting you're seeing patients. And then number 5, the hospital has to have a certain number of beds, 100, over 100 beds. That is the requirement, the basic requirement that you need to actually think of even applying to come to work here. After you've met the requirements that I've already covered, the next thing you have to decide, where do you want to work? US is a very big country. One state in America is equivalent to a country in Africa. Texas is so big. So you have to decide what state you want to go. And why is it important for you to decide what state you want to go? Because the requirements are different. So if you want to come to work in New York, where I work, the requirements are going to be different than if you want to work in Illinois. If you want to work in Texas, the requirements are going to be different. So how do you find out what requirements? First, you have to find the state where you want to go. So if you want to come to New York, you have to go to the Board of Nursing for New York. And then once you go to that Board of Nursing online, you have to check the requirements for foreign educated nurse. What are the requirements? You realize in New York here, the English requirement, English proficiency probably is not required, but then it could be required in another state. So if you want to come to work here, then you don't need to take the English requirement, you don't need the TOEFL, you don't need the IELTS or whatever test. You don't need to take those. That's why it's important to identify where you want to work first, what state you want to go. So once you establish what state you want to go, and you've gone online, you've looked at all the requirements that are needed, you double check and you see, you check and see, okay, I have this, I have a license, I have whatever they need, I have the English requirement, I have the whatever. Once you get that situated and you want to work in New York, the second thing you want to be looking at is, how do you want to come here? Now you want to come as a registered nurse, you want to come to work here, but then how? And that's important because once you determine the how, then it guides your next steps. So I'm going to give you an example. So if you want to come to work here and you want to go through an agency, then once you get the requirements, maybe you don't need to take, like, you don't need to go and get your accreditation and all that, because this agency might take care of that. So you don't need to go through the hassle of doing all that, because the agency will take care of it. So that will save you like the headache and all that goes into, like, doing the research yourself. So if you're coming here through an agency, then just know minimum requirement by the agency to actually start processing my green card and going to immigrating here. That's number one. You can come as an agency. Number two, you can come as a direct hire. So a direct hire, that means, like, you have to do the research yourself, you have to do everything yourself, and then usually we get, like, you get like some companies that actually will connect you or link you directly to the hospital. So you don't have a contract with the agency. With the agency, usually you have a contract with them. For the most part, some agencies, you don't get paid by the hospital where you work at, you get paid by the agency. So the hospital pays the agency and the agency pays you. What does that mean? You get less pay because somebody has to get a cut everywhere. The hospital is paying the agency has to take their cut for you to get the money. But then sometimes the advantage of that is, like, sometimes the agency will guarantee you like 40 hours of pay. So even if you work in a hospital where, like, they send you home, they don't need you, some hospital will call you off. In that case, you still get paid your 40 hours. It's less, but you're guaranteed the 40 hours. If you're gonna go with the direct hire, then you get into, you get connected to this company. This company connects you with a hospital, which will, you'll process your green card and whatever. And then once they hand you to the hospital, there's no contract with them. You have a contract with the hospital directly. What does that mean? You get paid more. You get paid more, you make more, but then in a situation where, like, it's a hospital where they call people off, you'll just get paid the number of hours you worked, or if you have, like, time, you can use your time to get paid. Second way. The third way is you yourself approaching the hospital, which is possible. Some people, like, if you have your NCLEX done and then somebody put a visitor's visa invite for you, and you're in the US, and then maybe there's a hospital that hires foreign educated nurses, you can go directly to the hospital or reach out to the hospital directly. You're like, I'm in the US, I have a visitor's visa, and then I'm interested in working at your facility. I have all the requirements, I am licensed in this state, and then they will be like, what? Come on board. So you get hired, so you bypass the connecting people, the agency, anybody else, middlemen, you bypass that because you're reaching out to the hospital directly. And that way, again, you get paid more because you can negotiate your salary, you can negotiate a lot of things because you're doing it yourself. The only disadvantage for that is, like, you have to do all the work. At the end of the day, you get paid more, there's more benefits, you don't have to be linked to a certain contract, but then you have to do the work yourself. I'll review all that again. So to come here, number one, you can use an agency, and an agency will process your green card, will help you sit for your NCLEX, they will show you how to do everything. They can even give you, like, reading materials for the NCLEX, and then once you pass and then you get a job here, you have a contract to work for them for like 5 years, 3 years, or whatever years. So you're bound by that contract. So you're working in that hospital, but then everything, your salary and everything comes from the agency. Number two, you can do the work yourself and then come as a direct hire, but then through another agency. But then in this case, this agency, they don't have any contract with you. What they do, they just hand you over to the hospital, and then whatever you do with the hospital is none of their business because they already connected you to the hospital. That's number two. And number three, you can just come When you're here, approach the hospital directly and guess what? Get a job, and that way you don't have any agencies involved. That's the 3 ways that you can actually come to America as a foreign educated registered nurse. And if it's getting a little bit much for you, or if it's getting a little bit confusing, don't worry about that, because what I'll be covering these topics like step by step. I'll break it down the way I broke down the green card and then applying for the visitor's visa. I'm going to be breaking down step by step. So we'll be doing this, like if you follow my channel, subscribe, I'll be doing it step by step. So if you want to do it yourself, you'll have all the information you need to do it yourself. You want to go through an agency, I'll try to link you up with these agencies. And then so you will make it here one way or another, right? So if you know, my website is www.nafulaconnect.com. I'll have the link pinned in my comment. So you need to go to nafulaconnect.com, and on nafulaconnect.com, if you want to get host pairing and all that, there's a tab for that. But then because you're a registered nurse, so you're going to go to a tab that says foreign educated registered nurse. You're going to click on that tab. And when you click on that tab, it's going to open a page that has a form. And you have to fill out that form. That form has like just basic information, like your name and all that information that's important, and we'll receive that form. So once I get that form and I see like you're a good candidate, I will email you back. I get that form, and then I determine like you meet the requirements, or you just need like a little bit of whatever. I'll email you and tell you like, okay, you need to do this ABCD before you're paired with an agency, or you need to do this before you do the CGFNS accreditation or whatever. So if you need help with the CGFNS, setting up an account and that, I might be able to help you with that, but then guess what? You'll have like a fee attached to that. So there's some services like if you just need pairing with an agency and you already have your everything, I'll go ahead and do that. That's gonna be free because I just reach out to them. And people in Africa, usually for the most part, they don't have like a lot of money like here, so I understand that. So if it's an easy thing to do, just pairing you, then I'll just hook you up with an agency. But then if you need more than that, like if you need like help with here and there, then there'll be a consultation. It's not going to be as much, I'll just be reasonable, but then there'll be a consultation attached to that. So go to nafulaconnect.com if you're interested in immigrating and working to America as a registered nurse, and sign up. Like I said, I try to help people. It doesn't, some people, they're like, oh, people are gonna scam or do stuff like that. It's not gonna be that. So if it's just like a service that you need, there'll be just consultation fee for that service. That's it. There's no guarantee you like we're gonna be in heaven and whatever, I'm gonna do everything for you. No. And if you just need an agency, like to reach out for an agency or whatever, then I'll reach out to them. But then if you need like to double check your documents and whatever, then that'll be a consultation fee, very little fee to just like go over your stuff, and then I'll hook you up with an agency. But details about that will be coming up in my next videos. But for right now, if you need to sign up as a nurse to come work in the United States, even if you don't need to, but then your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your friends, your relatives, somebody that on Facebook who is a registered nurse and can come here, guess what? They can come here. You don't know. Maybe one day they'll be like, she helped me go to America as a registered nurse. I'm going to give this in return. Some people don't do that, but you know what? You might get one or two. So if you have all this information, share this video with your friends, your relatives, so that if they want to immigrate to United States and work as a registered nurse, NAFULA will be your plug. So go sign up. So you can go ahead to Google and then just, type in nafulaconnect.com. And then it brings you to this page here, which, I'm still working on it. But then if you're a foreign educated registered nurse, you see there's tabs here. So there's the shop merch. So if you want to buy some of my items here, but then you just need to go to the foreign educated registered nurse. So when you click on that tab, it will bring you to the foreign trained registered nurse page. And then it says, please sign up if you're a foreign trained nurse interested in immigrating to work in the United States as a registered nurse. and you just provide basic information, you know, your name and all that stuff. Anything that's in the asterisk is required. So you have to fill this form and then click send. So once you click send, I will get this form, and then I will reach out to you if you're a qualified candidate. Even if you're not, I'll try to just let you know that you know what you need to work on ABC. So go to NAFULAconnect.com, and what you want to click on is a foreign educated registered nurse, and then there's a form there. You're going to complete that form and click send. Thanks for watching. And then that will be the end of the video today. Meet you next time.